Welcome to a vitally important conversation, especially if you're a business owner. And we know that being an entrepreneur or running a business of any size comes with its particular challenges. Step in, the company's Tribunal, who specialize in providing tailored dispute resolution services, offering innovative strategies to address conflicts swiftly, which is vital, and effectively. They are committed to fairness, impartiality, and confidentiality, and they empower companies to find amicable resolutions that preserve relationships that are vital in business and ultimately propel success. And as an agency of the DTIC, it is their mission to promote ethical business practices throughout the Republic of South Africa. And here with us today to tell us a little bit more is their Head of Communications and Marketing, Simokele Khoza. Simokele, thank you so much for joining us. I've given my very gross oversimplification of the space that you play in your ecosystem, but I suppose maybe the most obvious question for me would be, what are the advantages of taking our dispute to the tribunal as opposed to going to court, for instance?
The company's tribunal basically is an entity of the Department of Trade and Industry, and Competition. It is established in terms of Section 193 of the Companies Act. Its members are appointed by the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition. What is important about the company's tribunal is that we are mandated to resolve company disputes speedily for free. So that is very key for us. So if you look at the benefits of utilizing the company's tribunal, we are one of those entities that have a cost-effective mechanism of resolving company disputes. Secondly, we are flexible and informal compared to courts. So if you think about it, when you go to court, it takes you so much time and years. Yet when you come to us, within about 3 months or so, once you have filed the application, we're able to give you a decision.
What this says to me immediately is when we involve the courts, it speaks to the past and addressing something that has happened and ending the story. You speak to the future. You speak to a resolution that allows these two entities to move forward productively, which I love. That being said, what types of applications sit with you guys? How can we kind of play in your space?
So the company's tribunal adjudicates quite a number of applications, but I'd like to perhaps cite 2 or 3 examples.
Okay.
So one of them is name disputes. We received an application, for example, from a clothing brand, Dolce & Gabbana internationally, who identified that there's a company in South Africa that has actually registered with the same name as Dolce & Gabbana. So they said, say it can be Dolce & Gabbana, Cape Town, for example.
Yeah.
So then after they wrote to us, we found that that company was inexistent. So the company's tribunal then wrote to Dolce & Gabbana in South Africa to say they must stop trading with that name because people would be confused to believe that this is the same.
It's going to hurt you in the long run. Yeah.
So people do that because they want to confuse people and get your clients and all of that. So the other example that I actually want to give is the issue of director disputes. Most of the time when people establish companies, they would register companies sometimes with family, sometimes with friends and colleagues. And as life progresses, as you start to trade, you find that there's issues where 1 or 2 people may not really contribute as expected. Then for that reason, you can then file an application with the company's tribunal to say that this person is not actually doing what was actually expected in line with the memorandum of incorporation. You see. So the other example I think that we need to talk to is the issue of filing applications for annual general meetings. Companies in South Africa are expected to hold their annual general meetings 15 months after establishment. So from there on a yearly basis. And if they are not actually able to do that, they would then file an application with the company's tribunal to request extension to convene their annual general meetings. We have seen a lot of those applications during COVID. So because there was limitations, yes, there was limitations in terms of physical contact. So that made it impossible for companies to meet. Therefore, we had extensions, a lot of extensions that we actually applied for.
And the thought of these kind of narratives playing out in court and the amount of money that would be spent then for a young business could be game-changing, game over, in fact, in that sense. You've mentioned that you can go to court if you don't find the decision favourable. What other recourse or what is the process if they aren't happy with the findings of the tribunal?
Okay, so like we've said, if you're not satisfied with the decision of the company's tribunal, you can go to court. But one thing that I must actually emphasize is the fact that members of the tribunal themselves are highly specialized in the space of company law, but they're also trained and accredited mediators. So there's very limited chances that you can really go to
You're
court.
not
But
going to
must
get the
also
right
say,
outcome,
yes,
yeah.
I must also say that if you look at the number of cases that were taken on review from the Companies Tribunal are very limited. And I can say that if we have, say, dealt with over 300 cases, you might find that maybe 1%, not even 1%, because 1% would be 30. So we are not worried about that, because that shows that we are committed to ensuring that people get justice and access justice through the Companies Tribunal.
Well, I suppose, and this is when a purpose-driven organization is created from that base plate up, that's what you end up with, is the organic result that you're looking for. A massive thank you to Simokele and his incredible organization for telling us more about the services that this dedicated team offer. They're all about the future of this ecosystem, not the past. And if you're looking for an organization that exercises its functions in accordance with the Act and performs their functions fairly, without fear or favor or prejudice, and in a transparent, and I'm going to say very timely manner, trust the Tribunal. It's as simple as that. They will guide you on what you need to focus on in terms of what truly matters for your business. So if you are a business owner, contact them today.